There we go. Okay. All right. Today I am compiling uh, creator of Babashka, Michiel Borkdude, has posted. Oh, let me close all this Hacker News stuff. It's a waste of my time anyway. Class not found stuff. That's all good. Right. I haven't seen the talk yet, but he recently did a talk related to creating native images and stuff like that. And he posted a tweet pointing to this example library, JFoo. And it's a cool repo because it shows off a few different things. It shows off Babashka's new tasks feature, which I haven't tried yet. Should be fun. Or I haven't tried before today, I should say. And some configuration stuff for compiling native images. So I'm going to kind of use all of that to cobble together an example compilation so that I can get things going. And in fact, to be completely clear, I've already done that a little bit today. So I've got my SVG library all in here. And let me rearrange these panes a little bit for a minute. Okay. There. So here's the idea. The idea for this example thing is build a little native image that you pass in an input file name, and that file is Clojure code that has a SVG drawing in it. It saves it to SVG or PNG and spits out the file. That's the idea. It's not working yet because of various things, but that's the whole idea. So what I do have is, so this is just a test drawing file that I'm trying to use. But before that, I've got this new main namespace here that I'm trying. This is basically the namespace that gets compiled. So what I'm doing at the moment, I've got it's not wired in properly, but the idea is a CLI options thing. Then a main function that will parse those options and check for them on the input of the file. If something's wrong, it'll give an error, that kind of thing. So at the moment, what I have is I've just hard coded this drawing sample in here. Let's make it, you know what, let's make it bigger just for fun. Right, and so what this does, if I were to run this just as is, it'll spit out a drawing file, and that file is here, so it isn't the right, it hasn't recompiled this or anything. If I run the main file like this with inputs, I think this should work. Error. Sorry, 1 second. Let me. Okay, so it worked. Let's turn this size down just a bit. Right, so all I'm doing here is running it using the Clojure tool, just like you might run with, it's not compiled or anything like that. Excuse me. So doing this, there we go. We can see that it works. So I'm going to remove the files that are being generated. And now I want to run another compilation thing here. So I want to run this exact code with an Uber script. And so what that means is I can run a task bb uber jar. This will compile everything into a single jar file that you can then run using the Java VM like an app, basically. That's the idea. So that's compiling. And now I should be able to do another task called bb run uber. And this, because of how it's compiled, it'll give a error, please specify an input file. That's coming from here. So if I specify an input file, it doesn't matter what file it is. Because it's not actually using it at all. Right, so that I deleted the drawing file, but now it exists again, so that's working nicely. Now, final thing, the way GraalVM's native image works, I mean, I don't actually know all of the details, but basically you make an Uber jar, and then GraalVM's native image can use that particular jar, do its thing, and make a native image that doesn't even need the Java runtime at all. It just is its own thing. So that's pretty desirable for distributing to systems that either don't have Java or who knows what. It seems really cool to do, and I'm excited to get stuff working. So let's run it. Let's run bb native image, and while that's going, because it could take a bit, I don't know, I want to show what I'm actually doing here. So Babashka has this newish feature called tasks. You can make a bb.eden file in the project root directory, and then Babashka will detect it, and it's just a Clojure map. It's Eden data, and I don't even know all the features of it yet. I haven't read up on it. I just pulled this stuff as from this example here, bb.eden. And it has, so uberjar is a Babashka task, and run uber is. GraalVM is, and native images as well. So right now, this is running. So there's a dependency thing you can do. So you could build up different approaches here. So this task depends on the success of the GraalVM task and the success of the uberjar task. If either of those fail, then presumably the native image task doesn't work. It looks like the compile is successful. But anyway, this is where that configuration stuff is going, and you don't need it, right? You could make a Clojure function or whatever that will build this for you, but it is pretty cool to have kind of task runner as your build tool. I like that. It works in my brain a bit, you know? So anyway, if you look at this, it's doing shell calls basically. So you could imagine setting up a bash file that'll do this too, right? It's nothing new. It's just nice to be using all of the same kind of tooling. Like you could auto generate this with a Clojure function. It's all Clojure. It's all stuff that Clojure devs are used to, right? So it's pretty nice. This stuff here, these are, to me, still, I don't know the details of native image. This is just dabbling, right? So anyway, I'll keep exploring as we go. I did just successfully generate, let me remove drawing.svg, remove out.png. let's see here. So you can see there's a bunch of build artifact things. The jar files here, build artifacts. Probably I could configure this to create a build directory so it's a little cleaner, not cluttering up the main or the root directory, but that's unimportant. That's implementation details. Right, so the thing that is new after running the native image thing is this here. This is actually a executable. So if I actually run it, you can see it does say please specify blah blah blah, specify an input file. Okay, so I'll do that. And before I click go on that, I'm going to refresh this. There's no file. It doesn't exist. Run that, and it does generate the SVG file. So the basics are working. It all can work. So what stuff I want to work on next is I realize I commented out the no fallback thing, just experimenting to see if it works. Now I actually do want to rebuild that. Yeah, let's let that go again. And while that's going, okay. Every once in a while you do stuff that requires like builds and compiles and stuff, and I recognize how awesome it is to have REPLs, you know, where you can kind of just keep going. You don't have to really wait to test things. You could just do things as like the program is running, which is really quite nice. It's just a very different workflow than this, right? Like this takes long. So you don't want to be relying on it for every single change you make, usually. Let's just run this again. And it shouldn't change. Oh, you know what I should do, actually? I should make it do a random colors and stuff, so that you can see it change after every run. But that doesn't matter, because what I want to try next is something to the effect of well, let's just have a look here, see what we can get to work. See, the thing is, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to get exactly the functionality I was thinking without doing a bit of workaround stuff. The reason is, if I look at the source file here, there's a note in the comments saying load string is not GraalVM compatible, caused by unsupported feature defining classes from new bytecodes at runtime. So load string, right, so load string doesn't work, which originally my idea was something like this. And actually, let me reinstitute it, get it working in the normal command line, and then go from there. So right, so I have this. What I've done here is set up a thing where, so libs is a set of symbols that are loaded in the current namespace. The reason I have that is to do this here. I can load a file in. So if I load file, the file I'm testing with, drawing.clj, now what I can do is remove the libraries from, if I redo this now, there should be only one symbol left in the list. Oh, I bet it's because of this. If I do now, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Let's step back. Let's see if this will work just as is. How about that? So the way I can test that actually is, let's do cljm. Actually, let's just do it with the Babashka task. We'll do run bb help. Oop. Here we go. That's what I meant to do. So if you run bb tasks, it'll list out all of the options in that bb.eden file. Run main is what I wanted. I just forgot what it was called. So if I do bb run main, this will give me an error once the JVM boots up. Right, so it's correctly saying it needs an input file. If I do an input file that is the wrong, oh no, never mind. Let's specify an output file, out.png, right? This should hopefully work. Hey, how's it going? 104. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, peace. This is sorry, my chat window here is saying this is a first time chat from the viewer. So thanks for joining in. How are you doing? Did it work? Yes, it did. So if I open out.png, it will have compiled this correctly, and I can run it again. If I zip this up here, if I do this, I want to change this. Right, so I changed the details of this a bit, and I'll run this again. Come on, my computer, please work. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted here. All right, so if I open out.png, this is now different, right? It is reflecting the changes I made to it. Is it correctly rotated? Yes, so you can, this is going this way on this to the right of the screen at the top. Geez. Pointing from bottom left to top right is a 45-degree turn. Going from top left to bottom right is -45, so it's working. Okay, so now here I want to try generate the Uber jar and see if that works. So let's do bb Uber jar. Just make sure things are working. Yeah, we're good. We're good. All right, there we go. Let's see. It looks like it built the Uber jar just fine. Although I realize, sorry, I could have just done this in one step here. So instead of run main, I'm gonna do run Uber, and it'll try to run the same thing from a single jar file as opposed to whatever. And that didn't work. Why would that be? Huh, okay. I just have to pay attention to the time as well because my roommates need quiet at 2:30 today, so 2-hour stream kind of thing. Should be just fine. It's experimental work today anyway, so here is kind of where I'm at with not completely understanding how to approach this. So don't know how to create iSeek from even number of forms question mark specs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite know why I'm getting an error here, right? Because it works when I just run it as a main, but it doesn't work when it's in an Uber jar. So it's one of the first things I don't understand. I'm sure there are many, but let's have a look. So the other spot that has stuff that I need to pay attention to is the Uber jar alias here. So there's this depth star thing by Sean Corfield, which I am just doing a one-to-one copy of a lot of this stuff from Borkdude's example here. So there's stuff I don't get yet. See, there's nothing wrong with these because when I have the simpler version, it compiles to the Uber jar just fine. It even compiles to native image just fine. When it's all internal, it works perfectly. It just, I don't understand this error, that's all. It probably, let's get weird with it here. Let's do print line let's do this. And see if that's anything. Okay, so this should no longer produce an output. It'll just an output file. It should just print whatever this is. Hopefully it works. We shall see. Ah. Why does specs get loaded? Sorry, let me check this here. Well, I mean, I could, I don't know if this is smart, but it's the first thought that comes to mind. Right, so we've got this set, and we're going to remove clojure.core.specs.alpha from the list, because that's all we need to remove, really. Okay, so let's run this again. And what we should see, hopefully, is something that's only drawing.main. There might be an even more clever way to, like a more robust way to actually filter out and get just the loaded thing itself, but this is just experimental, so it's the first thing that came to mind. Okay, what's wrong now? Oh, this is a mistake. This has to be thread last. Thread last, please. There we go. Okay, that should fix that error. Oops. Try it again. Hopefully it works. We shall see. Let me see if this is actually correct. Let me see, what's the first thing in this list? And REPL config. Okay. Let's try this. Let's do remove. I want to see that this logic actually works. Should just do okay, that, yeah, it looks like it's working, so that's okay. Oops. Got it twice. No big deal. Mm-hmm. 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 Right, so that does mean, theoretically, okay, so these are new errors now. It's a bummer. Okay. Complement. Oh, that turns it back into a seek. I need it to be a set. Right? Do I need it to be a set? I don't think I do actually. Let's see here. Remove A from the list, or seek A, B, C. Oh, it should just be a list after all. I don't need to do this way. I could just do loaded libs returns a list, right? List, loaded libs, sequable. Oh, it is a set already. Funny how that is. It's a function, yeah, and it returns it returns the set. Okay, we're good. Well, let's remove that, and then we'll force it back into a set, because maybe that makes a difference, although I don't think it should. We'll give it a shot though. Got no other ideas at the moment, to be completely honest. Oh, that worked. Okay. Now, why would that be? Why would that be true? Oh, this is why. Because I'm using libs as a predicate here in the remove area. But actually, this is a needless into, because it's already in that format. Okay, that's a step in the right direction. Oop. Oh, that's fine. Don't need to be evaling it there. Okay, ouch. Poked myself in the eye. All right, so that's super promising. Oh, no, except that it didn't work. It's still printing specs alpha, so why is that? Did it just not save it? Let's run it again, double check. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. Since this is the predicate, I need to input this in. I need to how does this work again? Is it, if I can you conj into a set? I think you can. Yeah, and if I conj B, oh, perfect. Yeah, so I can actually just do this. Conj have to thread it. This is being a little slow today. Right, so all I need to do is conj onto loaded libs, loaded libraries, right? The symbol, the symbol. Then that's in the loaded libs, and it should not show up once I run this. It should, this list that prints out should be only drawing.main. If it is only drawing.main, then we're on the right track, I think. And then, who knows, maybe it'll work. Part of me doubts it, but we'll give it a try. Give it a try. Okay, good. All right, now let's do this. Okay, so now if I there's no out.png anymore. If I run this, we'll see. So it has to compile the uberjar, then it'll run the uberjar, and hopefully if it works, it'll just output a PNG and file, and it'll print that according to this here. If that works, we're on the right track, and then I want to see if the native image will compile. I think the native image will not, because I think, ooh, that looks promising. All right, let's open out.png. All right, that worked. Okay, huge step in the right direction. Let me put a little note or a little comment here. From an uberjar, clojure.core.specs.alpha shows up. Okay. So, where I think this won't work is in native image due to, what do we got here? Well, due to using this here, load file, in file. I'm not sure that that'll work because of the note in this code, in the from Borkdude's code here. Unsupported, defining classes from new bytecodes at runtime. I'm pretty sure loading a file will end up producing new bytecode at runtime, and this will therefore fail. So I don't expect this to work, but I'm gonna start the native image compiler and go to the washroom for a minute, and I think when I'm back I'll know if it succeeds or fails. So let's do that. BB native image, and I'll be right back. Let's do one of these and one of these. Ooh, this is promising. So I tried to run a native image compile this morning on the same idea here. It was a bit, I didn't fix this problem yet, and it only got to setup before it completely hung there. So this is promising. I'm still not I'm still not convinced that it will actually work. However, let's wait and see, right? No reason not to have some fun with it anyway. Ooh, let's see here. Okay. Compile. So what I'm not sure is Apple TV, I don't need that. So I think this is not reflective of, I think this is reflective of the RAM being used, not the final artifact size. Let's see. So the artifact is here, 55 megabytes. Whew, that's pretty spicy. But that's okay. Let's try to run it. Let's remove out.png. How about that? Let's try to run. Hey, Sheila J. Hopefully I got your name right there. Nice stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well today. And thanks for chatting in the, well, engaging in the chat. What? Boy, I'm having a day. What brings you here? Are you a Clojure dev? Are you just passing by kind of thing? What am I doing? Let's run this. Okay, that's promising. Input drawing.clj. You're with the GraalVM team. Whoa, really? That's amazing. Welcome. I'm now I'm all nervous, like, oh boy, I'm not the right person to be watching. Do you want me to give a bit of background as to what I'm actually trying to do here? Because I can try to explain things a bit here. Ah, it didn't work. Okay. Oh, welcome. You know, anyway, it's really cool. Really cool to have you here. All right, so this didn't work, and that honestly doesn't surprise me. Let's see here. Yeah, no spec stuff. Yeah. Yeah, load file doesn't work. It invokes the Clojure compile. Hi, Bork dude. I saw that you retweeted the tweet there. And thank you, by the way, just up front here. I'm basing this off of, I saw you post this JFoo example project, and that was just the spark I needed to see what I could get working here. And yeah, load file, I was almost 100% sure it wouldn't work because you left a little comment in here and sci eval string. I was just trying to be I was just trying to see what that kind of failure looked like. But so I was I don't even know if this is ultimately like the smartest thing to test this out with, but what I'm trying to build, just, geez, if my Windows would cooperate. Hey, Knit Fidget, how are you doing? I hope you're well. Got a good number of viewers, do I? Yeah, doing okay. Having a good time. Oh geez, what is going on here? Have to go. Be back later if you're still there around then. We'll see. Hopefully I can be. Thanks for stopping in anyway. No problem if you have to leave, of course. I appreciate the input. Right, so one thing that even if the GraalVM native stuff doesn't end up working today, I'm keen to get it to work at some point. What I am already happy with is I learned Babashka tasks because that was a cool feature I hadn't tried yet. Really love that. And if I do run Uber, I at least have Uber jars working now with this setup as is. So if I run Uber and I have the input file drawing.clj and I do out uber out.png, it just works. So that's already a win. It's not 100% of the way to where I wanted things to be, but hey, that's pretty good still. So if I open uber out.png, it should work. There we go. Because I like to distract myself briefly, what I'm actually going to do is make this drawing a little more interesting. And I have a randomized layout thing here that would be kind of more fun to test with. How about that? How is everyone doing, by the way? I hope everyone is doing relatively well. I hope people are, you know, safe, comfortable, all that good stuff, you know. And thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Okay, so here, let's do... where did I put it? I'm trying to find, I made a so, well, let's copy this in there. I know I need that. Well, I know I want that for this little example here. Random colors there. You're always kind by asking how viewers are doing. You good? Oh, it's saying B. If you've forgotten, you changed your nickname. Did you change it twice now? Sorry if you... I can't remember if you had mentioned that you had changed it to Knit Fidget. And if you have, I'm sorry for forgetting. I do my best, but there's a lot of names to try to remember. No, just changed it the once. Okay, then I forgot. Sorry about that. Yeah, but good to see you here again. I hope you have been well. I like asking because I do genuinely want people to be doing well. You know, I hope people are happy and healthy. And if they're not, that's okay, right? You're not always in a good mood. But I like to, you know, talk with people and be a positive influence where I can. Saying B, new, maybe new since you've been here last. I've hit affiliate now, so people can subscribe to the stream. So that's for me, it's a big milestone. I'm very excited that I made it along. You know, hit a milestone. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. There's a lot of room to grow yet, but it's a huge step forward. I got 2 big raids probably about a month ago. It was a lot of fun, and it helped me hit the targets for affiliate. So everything's coming along nicely. Okay, so let's just do... I'll just do a distribute linear. That's fine. Let's see here. No, let's... Yeah, let's try this. I think that'll work. Let's see. All right, let's try to run it again. Look at that. That's pretty cool, even as is. Okay, let's open this, see if it's an interesting... Well, it's not. It's kind of okay. But now, they should be different. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. Okay, good. They are so it's using random. It's just random colors and sizes of rectangles, and it's just doing a linear distribution. Linear distribution is like in terms of position distribution. So it's not like anything mathematical or statistical. It's just positioning. Okay, so that's a little bit more interesting to look at. Now, back to getting things working for the native image is going to... Borkdude was in briefly, and they also have this eval string thing here. So I have to rework how I'm thinking about this a little bit so that I can make the native image work the way I want to. So what's the right approach? That's my question. Let's get this examples thing out of here. Hey, get out of here. All right. By the way, I think it's pretty cool that... So this is... Like, I'm exporting PNG images. These are SVGs. Like, there's a rasterizer built right into the UberJar, which is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. So it can export SVG as well. So if I do that and open up, if I go here, if I open up Uber out, there we go. So it, oh, I guess it's hard to tell. If I inspect this, refresh, these are SVG elements, not, this is not just a PNG. It's, there you go. So you get the power of SVG export, and if you want to just rasterize things right away, you can do that too. I think that's pretty useful. All right, but that's not the goal of the day. Goal of the day is seeing what kind of native image stuff we can actually get working here. So let's do something. What do I want to do? Okay, so Borkdude is totally right pointing out that this here is where things break. This load file does not work with GraalVM at the moment. So I have to use Psi to be able to eval strings and stuff like that. So if I have a look at psi.core/, there is eval string, which works by, it's a reader and an evaluator built in together. So if I def source string as, oh sorry, slurp, there we go, slurp drawing.clj. If I were to eval string source, I think I'm going to get errors because of the namespace declaration. Could not find namespace, blah, 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 composites. Yeah, so that's... Let's solve this naively at first. And what I'm going to do is just elide the namespace declaration. So what I want to do is... let's see, what's smart here? Let's, oops, that's not. There we go. Right, the goal is to get close to the same load file functionality using sci-core eval string. I have to be a little bit hacky right now until I get smarter about properly loading things in. But the goal is not to be perfect today. The goal is to have a proof of concept that this will work, because I'm very excited about GraalVM and native image compilation. It just seems like a really cool way to ship Clojure stuff. So it's just cool. That's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it's cool. Let's do deafin bad loader. How about that? Bad. Let's actually do bad load file. I'll literally call it bad just because I know it's not good. So let's just go ahead and do it anyway and figure it out. So slurp slurp the file name. Then immediately I want to string trim, right? Yeah, sure. Oh, I can do this. String trim. Let's see. String split. Wait, do I want to split it? That seems like a mistake. Also, well, let's just go with the first thought in my brain and fix it later. First string. Well, if I do string split lines, is it split lines? Yeah. Hey, welcome back, Bork Dude. I am in the middle of making a hacky load file solution because I expected this not to work. I was just seeing what the errors were when I tried to do a GraalVM native image on it anyway. Because I wasn't surprised because of your little comment right in here. Load string is not GraalVM compatible, so therefore load file probably wouldn't be either. But what I don't know that there's a one-to-one drop-in replacement for load file with SciTools, is there? I don't actually, I'm not that well acquainted with the organization of the Sci namespaces. Unrelated to all this, I hope you're doing well, by the way. You can use eval string and slurp. Yeah, that's where I was going with it. So I've got this here, and it does cause namespace errors. Although maybe I'm being overly complicated here. Let's just do this. I'll just try it. Sci slash eval string. Call it bad load file. Let's see how this goes. This might be a bit optimistic. You'll have to create a config for Sci to make the functions you want to call available. A config for Sci to make the functions you want available. Oh, so this won't this won't work? I'm gonna have to Clojure Sci GitHub. Depends on what's in the file. Yeah, so the file I'm testing this out with, by the way, I don't necessarily know that this was the first thought I had in mind. The idea is I'm just building a CLI interface for my SVG library, and I wanted to make a really quick compiler that can export your, if you have a file like this that imports the tools from my SVG stuff, you can make a drawing and get the SVG rendered output with this CLI tool. That's the whole idea. It's nothing too special. And if I run the Uber on this, it might not work now because I've got this thing in, anyway. Yes, of course, there's going to be mistakes. That's totally fine with me. Yeah, so, okay, so I mean, why would I expect anything different? The error I got in the REPL is the error I get when I run it as an Uber jar. Wow, who would have thought? All right, so let's see if I can figure out where or how to configure psi, because that would be what I need to do. Or let's do a lazy thing first. Let's get rid of the namespace declaration entirely, and I'm going to do the really bad thing and just assume that every alias I have here matches the running context in the main, and that'll only be true in this one instance. And I want to see if I'm completely missing the mark here or if that's gonna work. All right, let's try that again. Since this runs relatively quickly, let's just do it. You know, why not? All right, nothing changed. Okay, good. Psi does not look at the host environment. It is completely isolated. Oh, okay, okay. To make functions available, you need to use the namespace option. You're pointing me in the right direction, and I just need to know where to look this stuff up documentation-wise. So that's, I'm scrolling through here. Quick start. An optional options map. Okay, good. Sorry, there we go. Namespaces. Oh, let's see if I'm understanding this. So I kind of, you need to use namespaces option. Okay, okay, so I kind of, it looks like I basically need to recreate this namespace in this options map. Let's see if I'm thinking about that correctly. How about that? That's correct? Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to do myself a little favor here and simplify, just for sake of understanding. I'm going to just draw a circle. It's going to be 50. It's going to be a nice boring circle, the best kind of circle, super boring. I love it. Let's comment this out of there. And let's do one of these good old copy paste jobs here. I love this. By the way, I am like when you posted the link to this JFoo library, I was super excited because it was small enough that I could actually start to understand what to do, and it just was exciting, so I decided to mess around with it. I'm very excited to see your talk when it's posted. I think they're going to be posted on YouTube, right? Maybe I'm just assuming that. I'm not sure. Anyway, I did a talk about it at Clojure D. It's coming online soon. Yeah, I couldn't... the Clojure D conference, I wanted to get tickets for it, but the time zone, it would have been like I need to sleep, and the time zones just didn't quite line up. It was a shame. Maybe I'll give that a better... maybe I'll, pull an all-nighter once to go to those conferences, but that'll happen another time, I guess. All we've got to use is elements. Oops. Here. I need this. Clojure string can stay as well. All right, gotta call that L. All right, let's do the simple thing here. Hopefully simple thing. Okay. Ugh, this is really clumsy looking, all this stuff. Apologies for messy code, but that's what I'm working on. What's what I'm working with at the moment. Let's do def, call it where did my example go? Uh-oh. Bindings. There. Wait a second. I gotta make sure I understand this. Require foo.bar as lib print line. Well, let's do this. ns map. See if I can muddle my way through it. Clojure.string. Now this part, oh, that's already available by default? Oh, okay. And the other core libraries? Okay, good to know. So I just have to do it for my own SVG stuff, I guess, right? So we do, oh, I don't need Clojure string here. I need, correct. Thank you for pointing me in the right direction. Composites. Do I have to explicitly, so here, this is the, what is this, a map of symbols to functions? Sorry, I'm a little confused by that one. So if I, let's see, if I do composites SVG, is that correct? Let's see. svg clj.elements. All right, eval string slurp, and then the options are in a map, name spaces ns map. Does any of that make sense? Let's find out. Oop. Oh, see if any of this makes sense. Let's do bad load file drawing.clj. Oh, style. All right, we're getting somewhere. Hey, cool. All right, that's promising. Let's be naive once again. Why don't we? Let's run the Uber and see what happens. Oh, this is exciting. Who knows? Who knows what'll work and what won't? Oh, Bork dude, by the way, really love the tasks feature. This is the first time I've used it. I've known about it. I saw you tweet about it a bit. I love it. It's really cool. It's simple. It's clever. It's actually helping me understand. Like it just feels a little bit neater in my brain for, you know, kind of different build and compile steps. I love it. I am very happy with all of that kind of stuff. All right, let's see. AOT failed. No symbol circle. Good to hear. Yeah. I mean, you keep up the great work, I guess, right? I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. Okay, so this is a different error message, which is a good thing. I mean, something's changed. So let's see here. Oh, did I? Might have shadowed something by accident there. Don't need to do that. All right. Does this even run? Oh dear. I've lost the plot. I have to study this up a little more carefully, I think. Oof. Let's see. Inspect the error file spit out by CLJ. That's a good idea, actually. Full report. What? There we go. SVG mainline 58. Where did that? Oh, here. Yeah, no, I see. Right there. So here is one weakness of my literate programming approach here. So I'm in an org file. So I have, this is one file with all of the source code for the library. And every time I save this file, it saves to the actual source file. So unfortunately, I don't have a setup for mapping source line numbers back to the line number of the org file. So I have to manually find it for a minute. It's obviously not a good thing. It's not a smart approach, and I need to fix it, but I don't have a solution yet. So 58 is right here. Yeah. So this approach is going to be different because what I was doing here, okay, I know what I'm looking at now. Let me just make sure this is evaled in here. Right, so if I do bad load file drawing.clj, by the way, it's only bad, it's not bad because it's using Psy, it's bad because it's my first attempt. Right, so this loads the file. Oh, okay, so here's what is part of what's going on. It ended up evaling what was in that file. So I have the complete data already. With the load file that I had, like just in Clojure, right? If I just do normal load file, it doesn't return this. It loads the symbol into your memory, right? So it loads the namespace, and DWG is available in that namespace. So I would have to get the same thing printed to my REPL, I have to do drawing.main/DWG. Boom, I've got that there. So they're different there. What you got back from Clojure load file is a var. Right, yes. I'm speaking very loosely and poorly. Thank you. You're totally right. And so this is a Psy var. Okay, so this is some different object, I guess. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Right, so Psy has its own var type. Ah, okay, gotcha. So, I'm just gonna restart the REPL so I don't clutter it up with different definitions of things. This is only so I don't confuse myself more than I already am. All right, let's see. So we've got an empty namespace here. Let's pop this in there. Right. So using let's just change it to siloed file. Calling it bad is too negative. Needlessly negative. Okay. Either way, at the moment, this is not behaving the way the other load file was. What I was doing before here is it would load the file, then I would use loaded libs to get the list of vars loaded into memory or whatever, into the running program. And then I would just basically diff it with, so up here, I got the set of loaded libraries before I loaded the file. Then you load it and do a diff. So then you get a sequence of symbol var pairs, or pardon me, a set of symbol var pairs, and I would just take the first off of that, because the logic was, here's the list of loaded libraries, you load one new thing, and then there'll be those symbols and vars if you diff it. That was the whole idea, but that approach has to be a bit different with the sci var loading. That's where my head's at. I think that makes sense. Anyway, if I do now, oh, let me see. With Sci, you can do a similar approach, but go on. Okay. I'm thinking, if I let's load everything. Maybe just return the SVG data as the last value in the file for now. Well, so that is just by coincidence, that is what's happening here. So when I do sci load file of that file, right? This sci var, this is the evaluated data directly. So what all I'm trying to wrap my head around is how to get that where I need it. Right, so if I do tools/cider show A, yeah, okay, so this, there we go. Okay, there we go, deref it. Thank you. That's what I was not sure about. I have to deref that. So if I will this work? Where'd the @ symbol go? There we go. Okay, this is progress. Oh, 104, X104. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Thank you, Bork Dude, for the hint there. The deref is exactly what I was confused about. I love, by the way, that there's a nice cider REPL. If you do make a Java IO file and cider detects that it's an image, it will, with the right setting on, it'll just display it in line. So I can abuse that to rasterize the SVG to a temp file, temp PNG, load it back in as a Java file, and it'll display it right in the REPL. I love that. It's so fun. By the way, if you're not using Cider, I also have a show function that will just open it up in a browser as SVG. I'm happy with that. It's pretty sweet. Right, so we've got the deref thing that should fix that. So now let's just rewrite this bit of code here to do what I need it to. Where am I at here? You know what? Let me start clearing out these things that I'm not using anymore. Oh, I know. I'm gonna just for kicks. Oh, this is so messy, but you know what? That's just how it's gonna be for a little bit. Right, let's do that. Basically here, I should be able to call result with deref siloed file in file. That is now, so it's derefed from the scivar. So now it's just my SVG data. And then from that point on, things should just work. Famous last words. All right, let's see. Let's see what errors we get this time. So dramatic. You're loading the file twice? Oh. AOT failed. Oh, am I? Where did I end up doing that? I believe you. Oh, right here. Yeah, I don't need this. Thank you. Hey, Thrashton. How's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Okay, so AOT stuff is failing. But if I run main, does that work? You're doing well. You had a co-stream and it was great. What do you mean by co-stream? Do you have someone on a Zoom call or something? Okay, so this ran okay with the main. Let me... Okay, that worked. Discord call. You're learning Golang. It would have been awful without that second person. So you did kind of like pair programming sort of thing? Sounds like fun. Thrashton, there. I have someone in the chat, Bork dude. He's a pretty prolific and good Clojure dev, and I'm messing around with some of the tools that he's created. So, so I'm feeling the pressure today, but in a good way, you know. Learning a lot. Yeah, so that's Thrashton. It's really good to hear that you had a nice stream. Happy for you. Huge fan of programming, or pair programming, I mean. Yeah, so Bork dude has made a pretty cool tool. What's a quick Psi, a simple Clojure interpreter, and Babashka are the tools that I end up using a lot. And so today I'm using Babashka and GraalVM to try and learn how to make native images. That's what's happening today. Okay, so AOT is failing, and I don't know why. So that'll be the next thing to figure out. Oop. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. There we go. Yeah. Wait a second. What just happened now? Did it work? Why did it work? Wait, am I tricking myself here? Yeah, every time Commander Thrashton comes in, they 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 evangelize strongly about Common Lisp. It's really great. I love it. And I don't mean that in any negative way. They just really love Common Lisp. And I feel like there's like conceptual overlap between Clojure and Common Lisp. There are differences, but there's a lot of nice utility that's similar. Not strongly common, only slightly. Yeah, there's differences. That's true. I just mean, if you write in one Lisp, you're at least sympathetic to other Lisps. Oh, you haven't even gone full evangelist for Common Lisp? Well, I will request that we keep it we keep things, calm, when it comes to talking about other languages. Only because strong opinions are nice, but they can lead to needless clashing. But I trust you. You're good to go. All right. Here's a problem. Ahead of time compilation was not working, and then it was working, and I don't know what changed. So also maybe I'm fooling myself. Maybe it didn't work. Oops. Let's try one more time. Let's run the Uber jar. Oh, Knit Fidget, you're getting into Common Lisp too? That's cool. Maybe one day it's on my list, but I'm not even good at Clojure yet, so I've got a long way to go. All right. Did I miss something important? I hate to see that. Time is it? So just a heads up, anyone tuned in, I have to end the stream at 2:30. I have roommates that have to live their lives, and they need a bit of quiet at that time. So it'll be a 2-hour stream. Instead of dawdling here, I am going to try run the native image, BB native image task. I just want to see if it will compile. So I got basically every step of the way I'm running it with just the main, then I'm trying to compile, and then I'm trying to build an Uber jar and run it with an Uber jar. And then I'm going to do the native image and see if it runs in the native image. That's kind of the 3-step manual checking that I'm doing. I'm assuming that as I go, I'll become more knowledgeable of how to actually do this properly, or more efficiently, if you will. Learning the gotchas, that kind of thing. But getting something, it feels good already, I'm having a good time with this. I know there's got to be a way to make a native image work pretty nicely with what I'm trying to do. It's just a matter of improving my knowledge about this stuff. And there's more and more resources on this stuff as things go, so it's really exciting. Hey, that's positive. So the first time I tried to run native image, it stopped at setup, and then it eventually bailed with it said there might be deadlocks. So I'm glad I'm happy anytime it prints more than the setup. And I don't know why it said there might be deadlocks. I have no idea. But when it was failing that way, it also didn't work in the Uber jar, so there were other issues. Sheila, sounds like a normal approach. I hope so. I hope I'm not. Every once in a while, I wonder if like I'm doing things just utterly, utterly wrong. But you know, if you think about it, usually there's only a few ways to really tackle hard problems. You just kind of break it down, do one bit at a time, and take notes when you can. Pay attention, and eventually you get there. All right, that is promising. Okay, so there's two things I'm gonna check out right now. Let me just delete all these temp file, or let me delete all the SVGs and PNGs. Okay, now let's try to run SVG CLJ. The input is, now I'm pretty sure it'll succeed the compilation because the analysis is done. Yeah, so is the that's kind of the once you've gone over the hurdle of the analysis, then it's just I guess it's a lot of just mechanical stuff under the hood, like not too difficult at that point. So the binary is there. Now I got to see what'll happen if I try to actually run it on an input. Let's do drawing input. Let's do out graal out dot. Let's do SVG first. Hey, succeeded. Let's double check that that's true. Okay, that looks right. Let's change this size here. It's like Haskell. Yeah, it was still building when I said it. Yeah. It's like Haskell. If it compiles, it works. That really is that is what you want, right? I remember in undergrad I had to learn a bit of C++ for one of my classes. I was mechanical engineering, so we didn't actually spend a ton of time on programming at all. And I remember that being a frustration, right? Like I could write bad code that would compile but wouldn't do the things I thought it would do. It was a mess. It was a travesty. Okay, so it's actually reading and compiling for some definition of compiling my file input there. That's really great. It's exciting. Okay, now, and I think this might fail, gonna output a PNG. Hey, Sheila, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, okay, so this is a thing that confuses me a bit. And this is, let's see here. Should I, okay, we got a bit more real estate here. Right, so what I was trying to do here, the rasterizing part here, there's another Clojure library called Batik that takes an SVG string and can rasterize it to a PNG. Pretty cool. Hitting a reflection issue. Yeah, so what I feel like as a Dane, inflicting bad programming languages on the world is our original sin. By adding a reflection config. Oh, Bork dude, is that a Graal thing? I think. Oh, C++ and PHP. Yeah, it's a Graal thing. Okay. Boy, let's see. Where would I look for that sort of stuff? Yeah, Martin, you are personally responsible for C++ and PHP. Ooh, reference manual. Do you like my link sharing method? Manually search. I hope this is the right. Oh, where's assisted? There we go. Thank you, Sheila, for the link. Let's see if I'm smart enough to sort this out. All right, let's have a peek. I mean, go to Bork Dude's link first. Very safe, very mature. Love it. So that, as a general rule, I let people post links in the chat. Sometimes they have a project or a reference or something like that's really useful. But I mean, I'm streaming on the internet, right? You got to be a little bit careful with what you throw on screen. But also, I'm programming on a Mac. I have my stream software running from a Windows computer, and I use my iPad for the chat window. So I've got 3 completely different computing devices all working to try and keep me streaming. It's a little bit ridiculous sometimes. I feel like a commander in a starship or something, like a really bad starship that doesn't fly, but all right, let's see here. Did I miss CLJ Graal Docs. I missed Bork Dudes there. Thanks for that, by the way. Why on earth would a printer be... There's a CLJ LaserJet printer for anyone interested. The thing is, native image build uses static analysis, so it cannot see through all the dynamic features like reflection, where you call things by string names. So you need to provide explicit config to which classes and methods you will use. Thanks for the clarification. That's in the library you're using. There's a reflective issue of string get bytes. Yeah, I thought so. They can solve this by adding a type hint, but they probably forgot. Yeah, so I have this here. This Hosner Batik rasterize here. It's conveniently just a single CLJ file, pretty small, which is good. This here, parse string, this is, I'm pretty sure, where you could apply a type hint somewhere in here and that would solve it, right? Can make a reflection config for the string class. Simple JSON file, or you can use a Java agent that will trace. Yeah, string S would do the trick. I'm honestly tempted to clone this to my local and just modify the source. But let's have a quick look at this config here. Java agent will produce false positives. So it looks like my best bet might be to generate the config manually, a simple JSON. Let's see what we've got here. Reflection. Oh boy. Run the agent. In order to make preparing these files easier, GraalVM provides an agent that tracks all usages of dynamic features of an execution on a regular Java VM. It can be enabled on the command line. Whew! Bork Dude will filter the false positives. Oh boy. Yeah, this is for sure the best way to run a build. Go live on Twitch. Run your build. Run the uberjar version with that agent lib arg. These args are ridiculous. I don't mean anything bad by it, but like, ugh, it makes my brain hurt just looking at it, you know? Is this dot 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 eliding anything important? Let's see if I can do this. Can put this in the bb.eden. Perfect. Man, I am so lucky to have all this great help with like direct knowledge. Thanks everyone. These presumably are all command line options, right, for the GraalVM native image builder. Let's see here. Agent lib native image agent equals config output directory. In the wrong step. Oh. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right. In run Uber. Yes. Apply shell. Oh, I see. I see. I'll just do the lazy thing. Make it ugly. You can just feed it on the command line, actually. Would that not... is it before the jar? BB run, Uber, Java agent. Would that not interfere with the command line inputs from my own, like going to the main, to the Clojure main? Config output directory. What is my config output directory? That's... I don't have one. Did I... Sorry, this is where my knowledge of like how this exactly works is still limited. So please be patient with my ignorance. I hope you're not too upset. Just make it the current directory. Yeah, that's what I thought would be. Output directory equals just dot, no slash. Thank you. Okay, is that gonna work? Let's see if it works. Huh. Do the PNG thing. I think you also need to set the Java version to the GraalVM Java one. Sorry, is that a export Java home? There we go. Thank you. So I already did export GraalVM home, so that should be okay. I'm gonna, sorry, just for little notes to myself. Export, always need GraalVM home set. Might need to set Java executable to Graal version as well. I might have made a mistake here. Let's see. It's got Graal in the name. You can just use it as the default. Let's try that again. I have to keep a few notes here because there's so many. Okay, so that actually, so this error message is my file working properly, theoretically. Drawing.clj, output uberout.png. Let's see what happens. So this worked. Yes, that is amazing. Thank you, everyone. That's so good. Java notifications. Whatever. Oh wait, I should open that in an editor. Whew. Well, there you go. There's some Batik stuff right at the top already. (1,000 lines. Generates a lot of unnecessary stuff, but I need Java-lang string. Probably only that. So if I modify this config. Oh, I see. So I could take this config, modify it down to its minimum amount, have that in my project, get rid of the agent argument, right? Yeah. Perfect. So let me see if that works. Okay. You need to set an argument to specify the config file. Okay, good. But then I don't need the agent itself. So I'll figure that out in a moment. I need Java lang string. Let me sorry, search forward lava lang. Thank you, Java lang. Does this look like the right thing here? Lang string. I think that would be the one, right? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. All right, let's give that a good old copy. Let's do this the lazy way. Oh man, there's a lot. I'm being really silly. I'm not doing this like in a smart way. There. Oh, look. Does anyone know why any program that I've encountered in memory that has like scrolling things will scroll faster when you swivel the mouse back and forth? I have no idea why that happens. Okay. Is this a valid JSON still? I think so. If the agent traced the Batik one, it's not the case. The Clojure compile just uses reflection, which triggers the agent. So it's not a problem in Batik. So really, it's in the Clojure compiler, I guess. Okay, let's. Whoops. No, sorry, I made a mistake. There we go. All right, let's now change this up. So now I need to, I don't, please go away. Thank you. Oh man, I kind of hate computers sometimes. There's just so much guff to deal with. Okay, oh, sorry everyone. My computer's telling me to change settings. Ah. What you're seeing in that config is basically every var in the project. H reflection configuration files. Man, you Bork dude, you're all over this, aren't you? This is fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, let's swap this thing out for H reflection configuration files equal. Wrong step again. Oh, so let me see here. This time now I should have to put this in the native image build, right? Because I'm actually trying to build the image with the reflection configuration. Is that correct? We're getting there. It's getting through my brain a little bit, one little step at a time. Okay, so this looks like we'll be just in time. Do I have to combine that into this H call as well with a colon here? Is that correct? Or can I do two H things on a separate? Yeah, okay. Like this. Just imagine how much easier it'll be the next time. Yeah. It's gonna be a little bit simpler for sure. I appreciate the patience and the help a lot. Okay. You're hitting pretty much every issue in a Clojure project, so you're learning a lot. Trial by fire, right? This is so reflection config.json. Genuinely, this is very exciting for me because these are the kinds of things. Does it reflect? Yeah. Thank you for the catch there. All right, let's see what we can do. I'm saying this is exciting. I have no idea if I've got it, but let's give it a shot. Because this kind of stuff, doing the builds and all of that, was always an intimidating part of programming for me. Only because things seem so completely, it's the most magical part of programming. Like I just could never make sense of all the make files and stuff like that. So that this is for me a project that's like readable and slowly starting to make sense. It's getting better. I'm actually happy that I can get somewhere. I did something wrong. Parsing the reflection. First level of the document must be an array of class descriptors. Wrap it in an array. I have just an object. Like this. There we go. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so it's just got to make it past setup. Yeah, that is a helpful thing. The only reason I didn't know exactly what to do is because I haven't memorized JSON. I this I would have got this eventually, but the error messages improved a lot over the last 2 years. Man, I bet the dev team has been working really hard to do that, but that is usually I don't know. I would imagine it can feel kind of thankless, but it's such important improvements for a big tool like this. I think that's great. That's fantastic. I mean, I'm lucky. I get to reap some of the benefits right away. What time are we at here? Oof, I gotta go real soon. Okay, I'm gonna get this thing to compile. I'm gonna try run it, and I'm gonna try get a PNG out of it and an SVG, and that'll be it for the day. So I got just a few minutes to do that. I'm gonna guess the compilation's close to done, and we've learned a ton. This has been a fun stream for me. Pretty confident it'll work this time. Well, thanks for the confidence there, Bork dude. I think you're probably right. I mean, so I know it works with the full. Ooh, that was a weird glitch. Not convinced? What I'm happy with is, at the very least, I now know how to make a reflect config, or how to generate one with the agent, and then I can start to learn more about the specifics of it as I go. All right. What's the machine specs I have here? What's the Mac OS command line to show computer specs? Because I don't know them off the top of my head. Let's see how big this file is. 55 megabytes. Oh, the rest of it's hidden behind my dumb head, but it's 55 megabytes. No time, no need. Okay. Right, let's run it. Let's do /svg. Let's input drawing, and let's output. What did I call it? I called it Graal out. No, it didn't work. All right, let's see here. Sax2 sax parser class not found. I'm guessing this is more a few reflection things. This is an XML. Up X that later into a smaller binary, be like 20. I'm not sure what up X is. I'll have to get a note on that, but thank you. This is an XML issue. I think GraalVM has a feature to auto-discover the XML library stuff. If it's used. Okay. Not sure why it doesn't work here. Well, I will have to look into it. Let me do one final little thing here. Instead of PNG, let's just do that. Oh, perfect. Okay, so it does easily. Let me just sanity check that. Let's change this to 100. So Sheila's right, it is used through Batik, and we included the minimal reflect config. So this was the reflect config that I used. It did fix the string reflection problem, but so it did work when I used the huge, ugly looking reflect config. So clearly I could fix it by looking for just the subset of things that are necessary, I guess. But these are going to be things I'll have to sort through off stream because my roommate needs some quiet time, and I've been streaming for pretty much 2 hours here. So I am gonna sign off. I want to say before I go, I am super thankful for everyone giving me all this help today. Yeah. ASMR stream. Well, unfortunately, it's also related. They might be taking calls that are technically proprietary. So just in case, I can't be running a mic that goes to the internet. Very quietly whisper about GraalVM. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll be back on stream tomorrow around the same time. Bork dude, I will push this to GitHub. Yeah, so it is part of you know what? I'll push it to GitHub. I'll post that on Twitter and probably on the Slack, if that's interesting. And I'll see what I can do with that. But I do have to get going. Once again, thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Don't solve it for Adam. It's his learning path. So I'm gonna solve it, and I'm gonna post things as hey, look what I did. That kind of stuff. Yeah, thanks so much for joining. I do got to get going. I will be streaming again tomorrow. But that's all for me now. See you later, everyone. There we go.